Hello, good evening. All right. Exactly 8:30, our PM class shall commence as planned. Our last class, towards the end of the class, we introduced price theory, pricing decision. Tonight, all things being equal, we shall put calculation to some of the theories that was discussed in our last class. While we await others to join the class, let us take a quick recap of our last discussion. Pricing decision. The topic tonight is, how does company determine the selling price for their products or their service? The topic we are looking at tonight is, what are the different methods that company can use to determine the price for their product or service? Last week, we explained the introduction to the topic, irrespective of the nature, size, or complexity of a business organization. The management must determine appropriate selling price. For many products, selling price is the primary determinant of quantity demanded. For many products, selling price or price we determine the quantity that consumer will buy. Pricing decision will affect contribution of the company. And this will in turn affect the profit achieved. Companies must carefully determine its selling price. We mentioned last week that pricing can be used as a weapon to achieve or to eliminate competition. Pricing can be used as an instrument to encourage competition. It can also be used as an instrument to eliminate competition. Let me take our minds back to the business war or the business prices between the two giants, Dangote and Femi Otedola. When Dangote ventured into petrochemical business, when Dangote ventured into petrochemical business, of course, petrochemical business is the primary business of Otedola. Now, Dangote ventured into petroleum business. As a woman being, Otedola felt slighted. And Otedola launched Otedola Cements. Otedola entered into cement business, which is the primary business of Dangote. So Otedola placed importation of cement down to Nigeria. In retaliation, Dangote reduced cement prices at the market far below cost of production. In retaliation, Dangote cut down cement prices far below cost of production. If you look at that short story, Dangote reacted with pricing policy to eliminate competition from Otedola by cutting the prices. It becomes not profitable for anybody to enter cement business. The point we are trying to emphasize is pricing policy can be used as an instrument to eliminate competition. Now, how do we determine price? How do we determine price? We have one, theoretical approach to pricing. You can determine price using economic approach to pricing. Please note, theoretical approach to pricing is also called economic approach to pricing. Companies can determine selling price using theoretical approach or economic approach. How do we determine price on the basis of economic approach? From microeconomic view, from microeconomic viewpoints, a firm Please note this. You might deal with this in your exam, this diet. Please note this. From microeconomic viewpoint, a firm should set a selling price which maximizes its profits. From theoretical approach, companies should set a selling price at which company maximizes its profits. That's point number one. From the economic viewpoint, profit is maximized. Let me expand this. Let me expand this. Let me expand this. Because once you're able to key into these points, then we are fine. From the economic viewpoint, profit is maximized at the level of sales where marginal revenue equal marginal cost. We explained this last time. The price at which the level of sales we equate, the price is at the level of sales where marginal revenue equal to your marginal cost. For company to maximize profit, marginal revenue must equal to marginal cost. At this point, the appropriate selling price can be determined. A selling price that maximizes profits. What is marginal cost? Marginal cost, from the viewpoint of the economist, is the additional cost incurred by the production of one additional unit of output. Marginal cost. Let me quickly add that, notwithstanding that the video will be available, it does not take away anything if you jot. Marginal cost. Additional cost incurred by the production of one extra unit of output. That is the definition of marginal cost from the economic viewpoint. From the accountant's viewpoint, marginal cost is the summation of all variable costs. From the perspective of the accountant, marginal cost is the addition of all variable costs incurred by the business. What is marginal revenue? Marginal revenue is the additional revenue achieved, the additional revenue earned by selling one extra unit of output. So you must be able to equate your marginal revenue to your marginal cost. Then you are going to establish the level of sales. Then you can establish the selling price that maximizes profit. The demand function or the demand curve explain relationship between price, the selling price, and quantity demanded. Remember the law of demand. The higher the selling price, the lower the quantity demanded. The lower the selling price, the higher the quantity demanded. Please note, there is inverse relationship between quantity demanded and selling price. Please note, there is inverse relationship between quantity demanded and the selling price. When we say inverse relationship, negative relationship, an understanding of the elasticity of demand for a product can also influence the price of that product. We explain this. Our price function to use economic approach to determine selling price. Please note this. To use theoretical approach to determine selling price, first, remember, you are trying to equate marginal revenue to marginal cost. Then start with your price function. Start with your price function. Your price function is represented by the equation P is equal to A plus BQ, where your P is the current price per unit. Your P is the current price per unit. Your small letter A is the selling price at which no quantity is demanded. Demand is zero. Nobody is willing to buy at that price. Your small letter A is that price at which quantity demanded is zero. Your small letter B is change in price divided by change in quantity. Your small letter B will always come with negative sign. Why? Because there is inverse relationship between price and quantity demanded. The higher the price, the lower the quantity. Your small letter B will always come with negative sign. Then your Q is the quantity sold. This is your price function. Then next, get your total revenue function. What is total revenue? Price multiplied by quantity sold. Your total revenue is derived as the price multiplied by quantity sold. Now, letter P is for price. Then we can substitute, and price is equal to what? A plus BQ. Then we can remove letter P and replace it with A plus BQ multiplied by Q. This is our revenue function. When you get your revenue function, total revenue function, then from your total revenue function, you can derive marginal revenue. So please look at the sequence. Please look at the sequence. If the examiner is saying determine the selling price at which this company will maximize profit, you are going to establish your price function, establish your revenue function. Then from your revenue function, you are going to derive the marginal revenue. From your total revenue function, you are going to derive your marginal revenue. Your marginal revenue is derived as change in total revenue to change in quantity. Remember differential calculus, dy dx. Change in y as a result of change in x. The same thing applies here. The total revenue, the quantity, differentiating the expression for total revenue with respect to quantity. If you flash back to our secondary school days, and for some of us that probably study economics or related courses, we understand differential calculus. So you are going to derive the marginal revenue from the total revenue function using differential calculus. Next, calculate your marginal cost. Your marginal cost is the summation of all variable cost items. According to the theoretical pricing method, the optimum selling price is achieved where marginal revenue equal to marginal cost. So you are going to equate marginal revenue to marginal cost. This is how to determine selling price using economic approach. Any question, please? Any question, please? All right. We'll come back to this when we're asking questions. Let's go to other pricing decision method. Other method of determining selling price. Let's look at it. It's building online. Let me check self. Yeah, that was the man that I was trying to ask question. I think it's online. Building is online. All right. Other pricing decision method. We have cost plus pricing models. That means it's more than one. One limitation with theoretical pricing method is that most companies work towards target profits, not maximum profits. You hardly see a company trying to determine optimum selling price. Companies tend to work towards target profit, not maximum profit. So, economic approach in practice, companies hardly use economic approach to determine the selling price. In practice, companies hardly use economic approach to determine selling price. Now, what other method can we use? We have cost plus pricing models. Empirical research show that the most widely used method of pricing a product is to estimate the unit cost of the product, then add a percentage markup to this cost to provide a reasonable level of profit. Let me repeat that. Research studies show that most companies determine selling price by estimating the cost per unit. Then the company will now add certain percentage as markup to represent their profit. If, for example, we have estimated that the cost of producing a bottled water is going to cost us 100 naira. The total cost of producing a bottled water or a table water, 100 naira. We can now add 30 naira to it, certain percentage as a markup to the cost to represent our level of profit. We can add 50 naira to it. That's okay. We produce for 100 naira. We have added 50 naira as our profit. Then the selling price is 150 naira. This is referred to as cost plus pricing model. Under this model, we have three variants. Under the cost plus pricing models, we have three different models. we have full cost plus pricing model. Full cost. When we say full cost, it's also referred to as total absorption cost pricing model. Under this approach, the total cost is established. Total cost will include variable cost and fixed cost. Variable cost of production, fixed cost of production, and other costs incurred. That becomes full cost. Then the company will now add a markup to the cost. Certain percentage as markup to represent a level of profit. So the selling price becomes the total cost. Total cost include variable and fixed costs. Then the company will add certain percentage as markup. Using full cost, you can calculate selling price as total factory cost plus gross profit margin, that is percentage will be added to it to represent the company's gross profit, divided by expected units of volume, expected volume of production. Alternatively, you can use the second method, total factory cost. Please note, total factory cost is called total production cost. Please note it somewhere in your book. Total factory cost is also called total production cost. So you can use total factory cost plus other costs incurred plus net profit margin. Percentage of net profit will be added to the cost, divided by the expected or budgeted volume of production. So you can use full cost pricing method. You can also use marginal cost pricing method. One major limitation of full cost pricing method, full cost plus pricing method, is that it fails to distinguish between relevant costs and irrelevant costs. If you are using full cost plus method, you are going to include both variable costs and fixed costs. But for decision making, fixed cost is not relevant except you have incremental fixed cost. So if you are using marginal cost plus method, this method only takes into consideration variable costs associated with production and other variable costs incurred to achieve sales. Look at it, marginal cost plus. Under this method, we don't consider fixed cost, except you have relevant fixed overhead. Relevant fixed overhead is what we call incremental fixed cost. If the production of that product will lead to increase in fixed cost, then that increase in fixed cost will be taken as relevant fixed cost. So if you are talking of marginal cost plus method, only variable costs are taken into consideration and other relevant costs. Then number 3, we have target return pricing model. It's also called return on investment pricing model. Return on investment pricing model is a method of determining selling price. It's an approach used to determine selling price for a product by estimating the amount of investment, attributable to that product. And then set a price, determine a selling price that ensures satisfactory return on investment. That selling price is determined based on a target return on investment. That selling price is determined based on percentage target return on investment. For return on investment model, you can calculate your unit selling price as total cost plus target percentage return on investment divided by expected volume or units. These are the various methods that we can use to determine selling price. These are the various methods that companies can use to determine its selling price. Any question? Maybe after this class, or maybe weekends, please create time. Check May Diets 2019. This was the 15 marks. Examiner say explain methods of setting selling price. He now listed this: full cost method, marginal cost method, return on investment method. He listed like all those things there. Please, the exam we are going for is a combination of calculation and theoretical principles. A question from which method is examinable? Any method can be texted. Now we have looked at different methods. Our next discussion, before we move to question or to calculation, is what we call pricing strategy. Our next discussion is what we call pricing strategy. Pricing strategy. Let me expand this. When we say pricing strategy, what are we trying to achieve? Now, where a company is planning to introduce new products, when a company is planning to introduce or to launch a new product, the company must determine the pricing strategy to use. Please note, this is different from method of determining your selling price. Strategy. When a company is introducing a new product to a market, definitely you want buyers. And you are not sure how the market will react to your products. The pricing will no doubt have impacts on sales volume. Now, company must determine the strategy to use when introducing a new product and setting a price for that product. There are two notable methods. There are two notable strategies. We have two notable pricing strategies. One is market skimming pricing strategy. One is market skimming. When we say market skimming, this involves charging high prices when a product is first introduced or launched to the market. When a company is coming with a new product, company can skim the market. When we say skimming, company is charging higher price for that product. Company charge high prices when the product is first launched. Then companies spend heavily on advertisement and sales promotion to obtain sales. The aim of market skimming is to gain higher profits early in the product life cycle. Market skimming. You are charging higher price for your service or your products. You want to ask at the introduction, at the point when you are launching the product. You want to achieve higher profit at the early stage of the product life cycle. The question will now be, when is it appropriate, or what conditions must be in place for a company to be able to do market skimming successfully? What conditions must be in place For a company introducing new products to be able to charge higher price successfully, number one condition, if that product is new to the market and there is no alternative products, if that product is new and there is no alternative, or the alternative available cannot provide the functionality that the new product will give, then company can scheme the market successfully. If you have observed, look at phone. Samsung, before they will launch a new phone, they will have used adverts on social media, be telling you that Samsung new phone is coming to the market. They are telling the customer the unique functionality of the new products. They are using advertisements to tell the customer that the new products to be launched, these are the unique functionality which is not available in other products. Some customer will be willing, are already looking forward to that new phone. At that point, the company can scheme the market with higher price. If you flash back to the advent and introduction of GSM to Nigerian markets, MTN schemed Nigerian markets. They were charging higher prices to buy phone, to even buy line. That is market scheming. Those days, having a phone, having some phone, society look at you with some respect. The kind of phone you have, speak about, people tend to look at you from that perspective. If you place our mind back, there was a time BlackBerry was the in thing. Now we move to iPhone. Such company can scheme the market. Market scheming becomes difficult if a competitor, or when competitors have already introduced a rival product to the market. Number two is market penetration pricing strategy. This is an alternative to market scheming pricing strategy. This is an alternative to market scheming pricing strategy. For market penetration, company is charging low price for a new product recently introduced to the market. Under market penetration, company charges a low selling price for the new products in order to create higher sales demand as quickly as possible. The company is charging low price, at times lower than the cost of production. The aim is to obtain a larger share of the market, to patronize your products. The objective is to capture the markets before competitors can introduce rival products. But for market penetration to be successful, the company must be a cost leader. For market penetration to be successful, the company must be a cost leader, cost leadership strategy. When we say cost leader, the company must be able to produce at a reduced cost of production. Market penetration is consistent with cost leadership strategy. So company can do market penetration. If you look at Promasidor, when Promasidor launched Cowbear milk, to capture the market, Cowbear was sold at a reduced price. Before then, the only milk or the dominant milk in Nigerian market is Peak Milk. Peak Milk was the dominant milk then in Nigerian markets. Promasidor then have to enter the market to produce milk and to sell at a reduced price. Then Cowbear sachet milk was sold for 10 kobo. And before you know it, customers were trooping from Peak Milk. Peak Milk was like above 100 naira. Peak Milk was not even doing sachets. Cowbear came in with sachet milk, 10 naira per sachet. So it's more cheaper. You can just buy 1 or 2 sachets. Then you are done with your tea. Peak Milk was sold for above 100 naira. And before you know it, Cowbear has captured larger size of the market. Cowbear was trying to introduce their products to Nigerian markets. Cowbear is aware that Peak Milk has been the dominant milk. Now, Cowbear need to ask themselves, How do we launch these products? How do we ask customers to buy? Recall, pricing can be used as an instrument to achieve competition or to eliminate competition. These are the two major methods used. Perceived value pricing. At times, you are willing to pay a higher price for a product because you see that product, there's some value in that product. You want to pay a higher price. Say, I'll pay higher. Company can also do price discrimination. When you have different price at different markets for the same products, you can do that. You can also have complementary product pricing. Complementary product that goes together. Products that go together. If you buy one, you must buy the next one. Once you buy one, then you must buy the second one. Excuse me. When a company produces complementary products, then the company can lower the price of the first product to encourage people to buy more of that product. Once they buy more of that product, then the consumer will also buy more of the complementary products. But the first two are the major one used. I think we are fine with the explanation. Let us put to practice question. Any question, please? Any question, please? All right, let's look at question 1. Question number 1. As much as possible, always encourage students on the online class. Get your writing material and calculator. Assume you are in a physical class and make sure you write down. The video will come after the class, but please take something down. All right, let's go to this question. HFP manufactures components for use in computers. HFP manufactures components for use in computers. The business operates in a highly competitive market where there is large number of manufacturers of similar components. HFP is considering its pricing strategy for the next 12 weeks for one of its components. The managing director seeks your advice to determine the selling price that will maximize profits to be made during this period. You have been given the following data. Look at it. The managing director seeks your advice. Selling price at which this company will maximize profits. Now let me ask, at what selling price will the company maximize profit? The line is open, or you can send in a chat. Yes. At what selling price will the company maximize profits? Let's see. Yeah. Where marginal revenue equal marginal cost. So at the back of our minds, we know where we are going to now. Okay. Thank you. You have been given the following data. Market demand. The current price of the components. The current price is 1,350 naira. At this price, the average weekly demand over the last 4 weeks has been 8,000 components. If the current price is 1,350, quantity demanded is 8,000 components. And analysis of the market shows that for every 50 naira reduction in selling price, the quantity will increase by 1,000 units. Can you see it? Reduction in price, increase in quantity demanded. If the selling price is reduced by 50 naira, quantity demanded will increase by 1,000. If the selling price is increased, look at this per week. For every 50 naira increase in selling price, the demand will reduce by 1,000 components. That's market demand information for you. Cost information. Direct material cost for each component is 720. The price is part of a fixed price contract with the material suppliers, and the contract does not expire for another 1 year. So our material price per unit is 270. And we know that this price, supplier cannot increase it. Production, labor, conversion costs, together with other overhead costs and corresponding output volume, has been collected for the last 4 weeks. And they are as follows. Look at volume of production. Look at the cost from week 1 to week 4. No significant changes in cost behavior are expected in the next 12 months. Calculate the optimum profit maximizing selling price of the component for the period. Okay, that's for 10 marks. Calculate optimum profit maximizing selling price. So we are dealing this question together. That clear, please? We shall deal with this question together. So open your writing material. Let's go to it. If you are ready, let me know. Get your writing material, your pen, your notebook, your calculator. We need to solve this together. Are we set to go? Are we good to go? Yes, okay. Let's start. To maximize profits, marginal revenue equal marginal cost. Yeah. Please note it in your book. To maximize profits, marginal revenue equal marginal cost. Next. Calculation of marginal revenue. Next. Calculation of marginal revenue. State your price function. State your price function. P is equal to A plus BQ. Please state it. State your price function. P is equal to A plus BQ. Where P is the current price. What is the current price on the question, please? Look at the market demand. The current price of the component is how much, please? You can unmute.
1,350.
1,350. Yes, you can unmute, no problem. Let's have interactive class. 1,350, right?
Yes.
Look at it here. Your small letter A price at which demand is 0. This is to be calculated. This is, so note it in your book. Your small letter A, price at which demand is 0. This is to be calculated. Next. Your small letter B, change in price divided by change in quantity. Let's go to it. What is change in price? Look at this. For every 50 naira reduction in selling price, what happened to quantity?
Analysis of the market shows that for every 50 naira reduction in selling price, the demand increased by 1,000 components.
Thank you. Change in price, 50 naira. Change in quantity, 1,000. Can you see it, please? Can we all see it?
Yes, sir.
But remember, there's inverse relationship. That's why you have negative sign here. Minus 50 over 1,000. If selling price is falling, quantity will increase. If selling price is rising, quantity will fall. That's what we call negative relationship. That's why you have negative sign here. Now divide 50 minus 50 divided by 1,000. What do you have?
0.05.
Minus 0.05. Is that clear, please?
Yes, sir.
Good. You have gotten your B. Your B is minus 0.05. Your Q at this price of 1,350. What is the quantity demand? Look at it. The current price of component 1,350. At this price, the average weekly demand over last 4 weeks, how much?
$8,000.
8,000 components. Quantity is 8,000. You can now substitute to the price. P 1,350 is equal to small letter A. We don't know it. So we calculated. Minus. Now, why is this changing to minus? Because this, you have plus here, but your B is what? Minus 0.05, right? That minus will change the plus to minus. Is that taking place? Is that taking place?
Yes.
So you have A minus 0.05 into bracket. What is our Q? Our key is what?
8,000.
You have the equation. 1,350 is equal to A minus 0.05 times 8,000. Please multiply. 0.05 multiplied by 8,000. What do you have?
Minus 400.
Minus 400. Now, what is A? 350 is equal to A minus 400. What is A? Collect light terms. What is A?
B plus Q.
A is equal to what?
B plus Q.
A is equal to what?
B plus Q.
No, now look at what you have here. You have 1,350 is equal to A minus 400. What is your A? With this equation, what is your A? What do you do here? You collect like terms now. This minus 400 we cross is equal to A is equal to 1,350 plus 400. That becomes plus. So your A should be, thank you. Your A is 1,750. That means at a selling price of 1,750, quantity demanded is 0. You have gotten your A. You can now go back to the price function. Price is equal to, remove A now. Substitute A is equal to what? 1,750 minus 0.05 Q. That is the price function. Our price function, 1,750 minus 0.05 Q, where Q is your quantity. You have gotten the equation of the price function. Please remember, this price of 1,350 is not the optimal selling price. It is the current selling price. But we needed the optimal selling price at which the company maximizes profits. You have gotten your price function equation. Next, you need to get your total revenue. You have gotten your price function. Next, you need to get your total revenue. Total revenue function is what? Price multiplied by quantity. Is that not? Please, what is total revenue function?
Price times quantity.
Thank you. And you're already getting the price equation here. P is equal to 1,750 minus 0.05 Q. Now remove the P here. Introduce 1,750 minus 0.05 Q. Multiply by what?
Q.
A Q. Open the bracket. Q times 1,750. You are going to have 1,050 Q minus 0.05 Q multiplied by Q. That will give you 0.05 Q squared. You have gotten your total revenue function.
To give 1,750 minus 0.05.
Now, from your total revenue, you can now derive your marginal revenue. So we have gotten, deliberately we are keeping the pace of this class, right? We want to ensure maximum students following the class. And please feel free to ask questions. After all, you are in your house. Nobody will say, no one is asking questions. Now, from your total revenue, you can get your marginal revenue now using differential calculus now. But don't be carried away by the name. Do not be carried away by the big name. Differential calculus. Yeah, calculus again in this PM. Don't be carried away with big name. Just look at the concepts. You start with the first one. This Q you have here, 1Q, right? Is assume you have Q raised to power 1. If I write A, if I write Q raised to power 1 is also Q. Anything raised to power 1 under the law of indices. Can we recall?
One.
Can we recall?
Yeah. Yes,
Just
sir.
test. 2 raised to power 1 is equal to 2.
Yes,
10 raised
sir.
to power 2, 10 raised to power 1 is equal to 10.
Yes, sir.
1,000 raised to power 1 is equal to 1,000. So it's assumed that there's one here, Q raised to power 1. That one multiplied by the coefficient. The
Yes,
coefficient is 1,750. This one here multiplied by the coefficient. That will give you 1,750. Then from that one, subtract 1. Now Q raised to power 0.
It's just for 0.
Any number raised to power 0 is 1. So invariably, when you differentiate 1,750 Q, you are going to get 1,750. If you differentiate 1,750 Q, you are going to get 1,750 Q with go. If you get to the second one, you have raised to power 2 here, right?
0.05.
2 multiplied by 0.05, what do you have?
0.1.
0.1. That is minus 0.1. From these two, remove 1.
Just 1.
You are left with 1.
Yeah.
Any number raised to power 1 is equal to that number.
1. Yeah.
That becomes Q. This is your marginal revenue. From the total revenue, we have derived marginal revenue.
Play.
So you have sorted out marginal revenue problem. Next is marginal cost.
Costs. That of your variable costs.
Now go pick your variable cost. Let's go to the question. We have direct material cost of each component, 270 naira. I'll pick that. But look at here, so production, labor, and conversion cost, together with other overhead costs and corresponding output volume, have been collected. Look at this. Week 1, the company produced 9,400. Total cost, production, labor, conversion, and other overhead is 7 million.
7 million.
Week 2, the company produced 7,600 units. Total cost, production, labor, conversion, and other overheads, 5,688. Week 3, week 4, you have production and volume. Now, this cost, production, labor, conversion, other overhead, is it a variable cost?
Yes, sir.
Is it a fixed cost? Or is it a mixed cost?
We'll test for it.
Hello?
Hi, we test for them.
How do we test now?
Picking them 1-1.
That's great. I'm impressed. That's good. Somebody said mixed cost. We don't know yet. What we don't need to do is we can now go and text or do high and low method.
Yes, sir.
Look at it. No, I'm not intending to do high and low method. But you have highest activity level.
Okay.
You have lowest activity level.
And
Can adopt and low method here now.
yes, we can.
Is that clear, please?
Yes, sir.
You know, when I was taking cost estimation, I was trying to emphasize that, look, this method, please, who is stopping the class? Is becoming to, all right, thank you for holding your speaker down. I was trying to explain that the topic cost estimation can enter any topic under SFM. Examiner has brought and low here now. We are going to use and low method to determine variable cost and the fixed element. Let's go to a solution. Calculation of marginal cost. Using high and low method, we can determine other variable costs per unit. Look at the schedule. High, highest activity level. We have week 1, 9,400. Corresponding cost, 7 million. Right?
Excuse me, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes.
That means in this question that we are testing for the direct material, labor, production overhead.
No, material is not involved.
Yes, like we're testing those things listed of as one.
Yes.
Okay.
Material is not involved here.
Yes.
We are testing production, labor, conversion, and other overheads.
So again, variable unit price.
So you now have the highest level and the lowest level, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me the differences. Differences in volume, 2,100 units.
Okay.
Differences in cost, 1,554,000. Variable rate per unit, differences in cost, divided by differences in volume. So pick it, differences in cost, 1,554,000, divided by differences in volume, 2,100 units. Please check that out.
740.
740. Other variable cost per unit is 740. Our marginal cost is equal to direct material cost per unit plus other variable cost per unit. Our marginal cost, 270 plus 740, 1,010. We have gotten the marginal cost. We have gotten the marginal revenue. What next? Equate the two. Marginal revenue, 1,750 minus 0.1 Q is equal to the marginal cost, 1010. Then what is Q? Solve for your Q. That is the quantity that will maximize profit. Quantity to be produced and sold that will maximize profit. In this case, what do we do? I'll collect items, right? This is without Q. I'll move this. That will give me negative 0.1 Q is equal to 1,010 minus 1,750. Negative 0.1 Q is equal to negative 740. Please look at it. My Q. Right. My Q is equal to 7. Negative we strike out negative. 740 divided by 0.1. What do you have?
7,400.
That means to maximize profit, the company should produce and sell 7,400.
This is the optimal quantity.
What will be the price now? Come back to the price function. P is equal to 1,750 minus 0.05 Q. Yeah, let me look at it. Thank you, Tony. You have gotten the output that will maximize profit. Next, at this output, what is the selling price? P is equal to 1,750 minus 0.05 Q. P is equal to 1,750 minus 0.05 into bracket. What is the Q? 7,400. Please work this out. What is the price that maximizes profits? Please work this out. At what price will the company maximize profits?
1,038.
So, if the company is planning to maximize profit, the company should charge 1,380. Then the quantity sold will be 7,400. Currently, the company is charging 1,350 and is selling how much? 8,000 units. Is there? When the company is charging 1,350 and it sells 8,000 units. So if the company is to maximize profit, company should charge 1,380. The quantity that will be produced and sold is going to be 7,400. This is what we call theoretical approach to pricing. This is what we call theoretical approach to pricing. Any question?
Sir, good evening, sir. I have a question.
Please feel free. Your question?
Sir, my question is, for us to get total cost, the formula for total cost is fixed cost plus variable cost, from the point of economics.
Total cost,
Now,
yes.
and this marginal cost now, we were given a direct material cost in the question, and we have to use high and low method to get the variable cost. Why do we assume that the total of the two costs are marginal cost and not total cost? You understand? Are you getting what I'm saying now? From when we started, from our total revenue, we have to get the revenue function, then we have to find the marginal revenue by using calculus to get the marginal revenue. So I'm thinking maybe we have to calculate like a cost function, then find the marginal cost by using the differentiation calculus to calculate that. But since we are given direct material cost in the question, and we use high and low method to get our other variable cost, why do we make it marginal cost and not total cost?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for the question. What's the name, sir?
Samuel, sir. Samuel.
Sam, okay. Now, your observation is well noted. Now if you follow the class, I define marginal cost from two perspectives. We define marginal cost from the perspective of the economist as the extra cost incurred
To produce additional.
by producing extra units. We also define marginal cost from the perspective of the accountant. From the perspective of the accountant, marginal cost is the summation of all variable costs. Is that clear, please? Now, if you are to derive your marginal cost, you are going to derive it from the accountant perspective, not from the economist perspective. If you are going to derive your marginal cost will be derived from the accountant perspective, not from the economist perspective. Having said that, why do we pick those two items as our variable cost or as our marginal cost? If you define variable cost that varies with volume of production, and one unique characteristic of marginal cost is that that cost will be constant per unit. One unique feature of variable cost must be constant per unit. Examiner says direct material for each component. Look at it. Direct material cost of each component is how much? 270. That means if the raw material cost for each is 270, that's a variable cost. We don't need to look for any high and low here. There's another way further to say production, labor, and conversion cost, together with other overhead. Now, this cost, we don't have clear information whether this cost is entirely variable, entirely fixed, or mixed cost. We could have just done cost. We can test for cost behavior, like somebody said. That shows that person was in my class, in my first class. We can test for cost behavior. Is that clear? It shows that that person that has that question, when I ask, we can test for cost behavior. What is cost behavior? The way costs behave let me insert to my right. We can test for cost behavior. The way costs behave, or the manner in which costs move in relation to the volume of production. You can have variable cost, you can have fixed cost, you can have mixed cost. Variable cost, cost that vary in direct proportion with volume. Fixed cost, cost that remain the same regardless of volume. Fixed cost. Mixed cost, cost that contain element of variable and fixed cost. If I now want to test for cost behavior, I will just come here. Calculate cost per unit. This is the cost total. Calculate cost per unit. Cost per unit. That is production, labor, conversion cost per unit. Please divide 7 million by 9,400. What do you have? Divide 7 million by 1,400. What do you have? Okay, I'll answer your question. Osana, I'll try and respond to the question, don't worry. There's a question on our plate, but I want to trash out the question.
744.7. 744.68.
0.68. Calculate for the next. 5,008.
748.42.
748.42.
The next one, 744.82.
744.8.
Next one, 746.03.
746.
6.03.
0.03. You observe that as volume is here, look at here. As volume is moving up, cost per unit falls, right?
Yeah, it's viscous.
Yeah, volume reduces here. Abi?
Yeah,
Look at it, please. Look at it.
it's increased.
When the company produced 7,300, cost per unit, when volume increase, cost per unit falls, right?
Yes, sir.
When volume reduces, cost per unit rise slightly. When volume increases, cost per unit fall. Recall, where cost per unit falls as volume increases, that is a mixed cost. For those that were in my class, first class, my first and second class,
Yes, sir.
when volume per unit falls, sorry, when cost per unit falls, as volume increases, it's an indication that that cost is a mixed cost. It contains elements of fixed and variable. We now need to separate using high and low method. I've taken this extra step to explain to everybody and the guy that asked that question. The first point is, we don't just assume. We only follow the principles. If you have to calculate your marginal cost, the principle is that marginal cost will be calculated from the accountant perspective. Identify all the variable costs in that question and sum it together. Now, it's very possible that examiner will give you a mixed cost. How do I know if I have a mixed cost? If volume is increasing and cost per unit is falling, that particular cost is a mixed cost containing element of variable and fixed. You now need to separate it because what you needed is the variable elements. That's why we use high and low method to bring the variable out. Because we don't need the fixed, we are not bothered about the fixed. You have gotten the variable rate per unit. Unlike the question we solve under cost estimation, we have to look for the fixed cost. For this particular situation, we don't need the variable cost, don't need the fixed cost. I hope it's better, please.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Now, along the line, I've gotten like 2 questions, sending in their chats. From Ozana has said, I want to understand how we got 1,380. Okay. I also have a question for, I think somebody said, how do we derive the differentiation? Please, if I miss your question, you can please, because many questions are coming, you can retype your question if I have missed your question. But I can see question from Uzana. Please, sir, I want to understand how we got 1,380. So I will take this If I have missed your question, please, you can retype and send the question in. Now, from the first question, how do we derive from the revenue function? How do we derive the marginal revenue? For some of us that we understand differential calculus, there is no problem. But for some, we need to explain it. And I said, don't be carried away by the name differential calculus. Just look at the principle. You have gotten your total revenue, 1,750 Q minus 0.05 Q. From this total revenue, you now want to derive marginal revenue. What do? Now, you start with the first aspect, 1,750 Q. The assumption here is that this Q is raised to power 1. Of course, the 1 is not shown, but that Q is raised to power 1. Let me see something, just 1 minute. I want to introduce, just 1 minute, because it's important. We have the understanding. Allow me to browse for superscript 1. I will come back to that place. So you have this one here. You have 1,750 Q raised to power 1. That raised to power 1, you are going to use that 1 to multiply the figure you have in the front. The figure is 1,750. So 1 multiplied by 1,750, what do you have? 1 multiplied by 1,750, what do you have?
You have 1,750.
Good. You keep it. Now, you now come here again. Now say minus 1. Okay, I can't get this factor of minus. Okay. Undo. I will now say Q raised to power 1 minus 1. 1 minus 1 will give us 0. 1 minus 1 will give us 0.
Yeah.
We have Q raised to power 0.
1.
Any number raised to power 0 will equal to 1. So our Q raised to power 0 is equal to what? 1.
1.
So 1 multiplied by 1,750, what do you have?
1,750.
That was how we got this aspect. We now move to the second part of the equation. You have 0.05 Q squared. That is raised to power 2. That 2 you have multiplied by the coefficient. 2 multiplied by 0.05. What do you have, please?
0.1.
So 0.1. I will introduce my negative sign. Then from these 2, take away 1. You are left with what?
Q raised to power 1.
1. Q raised to power 1 is Q.
Q.
That's how we derive this. I hope I've been able to answer the person and to also further explain to others. You now take your marginal revenue now equal to your marginal cost. Okay. Your marginal revenue equal to your marginal cost. Please look at it. My marginal revenue, 1,750 minus 0.1 Q is equal to my marginal cost. My marginal cost is 1,010. What is Q? What is the quantity that will maximize output? Can we work that out? Susanna, are you there? Now, what you need to do is, in working out your Q, you know you have 1,750 without Q. Collect light arms. 1,750 will now go across is equal to, you have minus 0.1 Q is equal to 1,010 minus 750. Yeah, we collect light arms. Then you have negative 0.1 Q is equal to negative. Please work this out. 1,010 minus 1,750. You are left with minus 740. Then minus we cancel out minus. Your Q is equal to 740 divided by 0.1. You now make Q the subject of the formula. You make Q the subject of the formula. Your Q is equal to 7,400 units. If this company wants to maximize profit, company must produce and sell 7,400 units. When you get your units, you can now go back to get the price. Remember, we have said the price before here. Look at it. Price is equal to what? 1,750 minus 0.05 Q. Now remove the Q. Replace it with the quantity here now. 7,400. This is the quantity that maximizes profit. We now want to get the price that will maximize profit. If you work this out, here you are going to have, please multiply 1,000, multiply 0.05 multiplied by 7,400. What do you have, please?
0.
1,750 minus what, please?
7,400.
Minus what?
We have 370.
370, thank you. I'm doing this to further show, because some might be wondering, how do you come about this? This will give us
1,380.
1,380. That was how we got that figure there. The B part says identify and explain 3 reasons why it may be inappropriate for HSP to use this theoretical pricing model in practice. Discuss, explain 3 reasons why it may be inappropriate for HFP to use this theoretical pricing model in practice. Why? That is the limitation of theoretical pricing model. What the examiner is asking for 5 marks is limitations of theoretical pricing model. 1, the model assumes that firm can estimate demand curve for its products. Can you estimate demand for our product? Now, look at the number of students we have on the online class. When we're planning the online class, we only set a price. Can we determine number of students that we enroll for the online class?
No.
Not possible. But this model assumes that company can determine demand curve, that you can know people that will buy your product at different prices. In practice, it is difficult to determine how many will be sold at any price. Limitation 2, it is difficult to determine the price at which demand will be 0. What price are we going to charge? There are no students will come to enroll at all. It's difficult to know. Limitation 3, the majority of organizations tend to pursue target profits rather than theoretical maximum profits. Limitation 4, calculating accurate and reliable figure for marginal cost poses difficulties for the management accountant. It's not easy in practice to determine all the variable costs in the company. In a company, it's not easy for the accountant to determine all the variable costs. Number 5, the model ignores the activity or action of the competitor. And lastly, several other factors will influence the quantity demanded apart from selling price, like income. Income can determine quantity demanded. If your income is increased, you are likely to buy more. So we are done with our question. Let us take one more question. So we had like 30 minutes. The first question. Practice question. Second question is coming from ACCA. Because I'm going to solve it with the physical class student. I also need to solve it with you. Are we good to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's look at it. Eats and Co. specializes in the production of a range of air conditioning appliances for industrial premises. It is about to launch a new product, the Energy Booster, a unique air conditioning unit, which is capable of providing unprecedented level of air conditioning using a minimal amount of electricity. The technology used in the Energy Booster is unique. So Eats and Co has patented it so that no competitors can enter the market for 2 years. The company's development cost has been high, and it is expected that the product we only have a 5-year life cycle. Just 1 minute. All right, let's continue. Eats and Co is trying to ascertain the best pricing policy that they should adopt for the Energy Booster launch onto the market. Demand is very responsive. Okay, somebody please, Olajide, can you mute? Demand is very responsive to price changes, and research has established that for every 15 naira increase in price, demand will be expected to fall by 1,000. If the company sets the price of 735 naira, only 1,000 units will be demanded. Cost of producing each air conditioning unit as follows. Material cost, 42 naira per unit. Labor cost, 12 naira per unit. The 12 naira is derived as hours multiplied by rate per hour. To produce a unit, it takes 1.5 hours, and labor rate per hour is 8 naira. See notes below. Fixed overhead based on producing 20,000 units. Okay. Notes below. The first air conditioning unit took 1.5 hours to make. That means the first unit to be produced, worker will spend 1.5 hours. You know, it's a new product. And labor cost is 8 naira per hour. A 95% learning curve exists in relation to the production of the units. Although the learning curve is expected to finish after making 100 units. Okay. It and co-management have said that any pricing decision about the energy booster should be based on the time it takes to make the 100 units of the product. You have been told that the leading coefficient is P is equal to negative 0.0740005. All other costs are expected to remain the same up to the maximum demand. If you look at the question, examiners introduce learning curve theory to it. That is the only difference between this question and the first question we solved. Let's go to the question. Establish demand function equation for air conditioning units. Your demand function is the price function. A Roman figure 1. Establish your price function, please. Before I go to the answer, I want you to try it. Establish your price function. Where P is equal to A plus BQ. Where P is equal to A plus BQ. Where P is what?
Yeah, optimal price.
Where P is what? Anybody? If the company sets the, where P is the price. If the company sets the price at 735 naira. Thank you. P is the price. At a price of 735, demand 1,000. So your P 735, quantity 1,000. Your small letter A, price at which demand will be 0. This is to be calculated. Price at which demand is 0. This will be calculated. Then your small letter B is what? Anybody?
Change
your
in
small
price.
letter B is what?
Change in price.
Over.
Change in quantity.
Thank you. Look at this. For every 15 naira increase in price, what happened to demand?
It falls by 1,000 units.
Thank you. Your B is equal to minus 15 divided by 1,000. Look at it. Demand function. Yeah, that's great. But you have to put negative sign to it.
Okay,
As price is falling, as price is rising, demand is falling. So there must be a negative sign. Demand curve has a negative sign. Is that clear, Tony? So you come here. Price. Oh, this is an error now. What's the price?
7.
No wonder I was wondering. You have to change it. I have to come here. The price is
735.
I was telling you, 735 is even right. Our A, selling price at which quantity demanded is 0. We need to calculate small letter A. Our B, change in price over change in quantity, negative sign. Negative 50 divided by 1,000. Work that out, please. Yeah, Gabriel. You have negative 0.015. Quantity is 1,000. This will change.
Seven, 3, 5.
735. So this becomes 735. Please add what you have. That should be 750, right? Right?
750.
So at a price of 750, demand will be 0. Our demand function is equal, P is equal to 750 minus 0.015 Q. You are done with the A part, A Roman figure 1. Your demand function is the same as the price function. No, that is normal. I should resend. That's what you mean, Abby? Okay, I will reshare, no problem. I will reshare. I'll definitely have to reshare. So you have gotten your demand function. You are done with the A. Next. That you are done with A Roman figure 1. Examiner says establish demand function. Demand equation for air conditioning unit. Demand equation is P is equal to 750 minus 0.015 Q. You get your 2 mark or 3 mark. We move to A Roman figure 2. Calculate the marginal costs for each air conditioning unit after adjusting the labor cost as required by the note above. Calculate your marginal costs for each air conditioning. Our marginal cost is the addition of all variables. We should have just taken our material and labor, but there is something attached to the labor. We should have just take our material, 42 naira plus labor, 12 naira, and move out. But examiner has attached additional issue to the labor, which is called learning curve theory. Learning curve is a topic on its own. Just like cost estimation, learning curve can be taken to any topic under PM. What is learning curve? I will try to explain the principle to you. Adejuwon will still take the topic fully. I will try to explain the principle to you. If you look at learning curve or the concept of learning curve, where an employee or labor, where labor is engaged in repetitive tasks. Where labor is engaged in repetitive tasks. Over time, that labor will gain experience. And the hours spent to do that job will reduce over time. If you are doing a repetitive job, that means the same job that you repeat every day, there's going to be improvement in labor efficiency. And the time taken will reduce over time because you know it. You are used to it. You are becoming experts. If you are doing the job for the first time, you take a longer time. If you produce the second one, you are improving. Now, in this question, examiner says the first air conditioning will take 1.5 hours to make. A 95% learning curve exists in relation to the production of the unit. Although this learning curve is expected to finish after making the 100 units. Look at that. Well, that means for this air conditioning, by the time the company starts production, labor will start with the first one. Labor will take 1.5 hours. Second one, hour will reduce. Third one, labor hour will reduce. Until it gets to the 100 units. That 100 units, effect of learning curve will stop. The labor hour to produce the 100 units becomes the standard hour. The question says, management has said that any pricing decision about energy booster should be based on the time it takes to produce the 100 units. Now, the challenge now is, we know the time to produce the first unit. It's going to take 1 hour, 30 minutes, 1.5 hours. We need to know the time to produce the 100 unit, that last unit. To do this, you are going to look at labor hour to produce the first 100 minus the labor hour to produce the first 99 units. To do this, you are going to look at labor hours to produce the first 100 units minus the labor hour to produce first 99. That will now give you the labor hour for the 100 units. I have 5 minutes, I'll round up because the take is, we shouldn't take the class too much. So I'll round up, I'll try and round up. Let's see if you can manage that 5 minutes. Now, when you get to the B part, your B parts, and of course, these are likely things you can see in the exam. I've explained the background. We need to first adjust labor cost per unit, taking into account learning curve. Thus, we need to calculate labor cost per unit for air conditioning for the 100 air conditioning. This is calculated below. First, state the learning curve formula. Like I said, It's a topic on its own. You are still going to have this topic being treated, but you get some knowledge here along with you when one is taking you. This is the learning curve formula. Your Y is cumulative average labor time for the first unit. Your small a is average labor time for the first unit. Sorry, your Y is the cumulative average labor time per unit. Your A is average labor time for the first unit. In this case, 1.5 hours.
30 minutes.
Yeah, 1.5 hours. Your X is cumulative number of units produced within the learning process. The examiner says within the learning process, 100 will be produced. After 100, the effect of learning is over. Now, this concept happens in offices. If you get a new job, they will say, we place you on probation for 6 months. That 6 months is called learning process. So your X is number of units produced within the learning process. Your B is the learning coefficient. Examiner says negative 0.0740005. You now come here. From your Y, find your Y. Y is equal to, our A is 1.5 hours, multiplied by our S, 100, raised to power minus 0.0740005. Save yourself the stress. Please go to your calculator. Do 100 raised to power minus 0.0740005. Get your answer. Then multiply by 1.5. Save yourself the stress. Take your calculator and compute. What do you have, please? 100 raised to power minus 0.074 0005. What do you have?
I have 0.71. Okay.
You multiply by 1.5?
No, multiply by 1.5. Will give me 1.0668.
Great. Look at your screen. Can you see it?
668178114. Yes.
Can you see it? Now,
yes, sir.
Multiply by 100 units. This is price per unit. This is hour per unit. Now multiply by the first 100. What do you have?
106.68178.
Please look at your screen. Can you see your screen?
Yes, sir.
Now keep that aside. You have gotten total hours for the first 100 units. Total time taking for first 100 units is 106.6817 hours. Now move again. Calculate time taken for the first 99. What will change? Just come here. Your Y is equal to 1.5 multiplied by, now the S is now 99. Y is equal to 1.5 multiplied by 99 raised to power 99 raised to power negative 0.07400. Now work that out. Or let me do it this way.
That gives 0.71174.
The answer you have multiplied by 99.
Times 99. That gives 70.46236121.
It can't be 70. Check it again.
0. Okay.
You have 99 raised to power negative 0.074005.
0.0741234. I got 0.71 times.
Okay, somebody has confirmed the answer. Gabriel has confirmed 105. If you multiply by 99, you have 105.6935.
Okay.
So please recheck. Now you have gotten time taken for the first 100,
times 99.
time taken for the first 99. Therefore, the time taken to produce the 100, that is the last 100. Difference between is equal to time taken for the first 100 minus time taken for the first 99. Now minus 106.68 minus 105.69. Get the difference.
Zero 0.99.
0.99. Okay. That is the time taken to produce the last 100 units. That becomes the standard labor time now. Labor cost per unit is equal to 0.988 multiplied by 8. What do you have, please?
Times 8. 7.92.
Thank you. This is labor cost. This is the hour. This is the hour for the last 100.
I'm taking to produce the 100.
You now multiply it by rate per hour.
Okay. Labor cost per unit. Times 8. Sorry, 8. Okay. 8. Marginal cost. Yes, 7.9.
Have you gotten it?
Yeah.
So you are going to have labor cost per unit is 7.9. You cannot get your marginal cost now. Marginal cost is equal to direct material plus direct labor. 42 plus 7.9. Our marginal cost is
49.9.
49.9.
So for the labor now, the 7.9 present just the standard variable for labor.
Thank you. That is the labor cost now.
Okay.
You are done with the. Okay, we need to round up. I have 1 minute so that we can go. I don't want to be. I can go. What I will just do is, if you look at the C now, if you look at, we are done with A2. If you look at the A3, determine your marginal revenue.
Minus price times quantity.
Determine your marginal revenue. Then get your, of course, to get your marginal revenue, you must get your total revenue first, right?
Yeah.
So look at it, total revenue, price times quantity. Our price we have calculated in A. So our total revenue is given here. I'm trying to create space. Got our price multiplied by quantity. I have my total revenue, right? My total revenue, 750Q minus 0.015 Q square. For my total revenue, I can derive my marginal revenue.
Yeah.
DYDX, right?
Yeah.
Once you have 750Q, just throw away the Q. If you are differentiate, that will give you 750. The second aspect, 2 multiplied by 0.015. What do you have?
0.03.
Q. You are going to now deduct 1 from here.
Yeah.
So you have your marginal revenue. Equate your marginal revenue to your marginal cost. This is 750. $750 minus 0.03 Q is equal to 49.9.
Calling 19.
Abi?
Yes, sir.
We collect light terms. This is equal to negative 0.03 Q is equal to 49.9 minus 750, Abi?
Yes, sir.
What do you have? This minus, what do you have?
Negative.
Negative 0.03 Q is equal to negative what, please?
Equals negative 799.
No,
Yes, sir.
it should be 700.
700, yeah.
700 point something. Point what? Maybe
Point
point 1.
Point
Abi?
1. Yes, point
Uh-huh.
1.
Point 1. Therefore, our Q is what? Negative, we strike out negative. Q is equal to
0.3.
700.1 divided by 0.03. What's your answer here?
23.34.
What do you have? 23?
23.34.
You can't be 23.3.
Okay, 23,336.
23,000.
336.67.
337 approximately.
Yes, sir.
You have gotten the units. Then we can now go to the price. That is the unit that will maximize profit. I can go to the price now. This becomes 750 multiplied by 23,337. Please work this out. 0.015 multiplied by 23,337. What do you have?
350,000.
350.0055. 350.055.
055.
Yes, sir.
What's your price? Price that maximize profits.
That's 399.95.
Approximately like
400.
300, right?
400.
We can approximate this if you like.
399.
You can approximate. This
to
will give
400.
you
400.
400. Thank you. The price that maximize profit is 400. Thank you for your patience. So the optimum price is 400. Optimum quantity is 23,337.
Okay.
All right, we have taken extra time, not deliberate, but it doesn't want us coming to start again. You understand it?
Optimal price is 400, not 4,000.
All right, thank you, sir. It's an error on my part. So I will reshare tonight. The other part is theory. You can read it. Look at it. Explain what is meant by penetration pricing strategy and market scheming pricing strategy, and discuss whether either strategy might be suitable for it and co. What is penetration? Market penetration strategy occurs when a company sets a very low price for the new product initially. The price will usually be below total cost. The aim of low price is to establish large market share quickly by encouraging customers to try the product and then to repeat purchases. This type of strategy is used, therefore, where barrier to entry is low, where people cannot enter that market. It is hoped to establish dominant market position, which will prevent new entrants into the market. Market scheming involves setting higher initial prices in an attempt to exploit those sections of the market that are relatively insensitive to price changes. The aim of this strategy is to maximize revenue at the early stage of product life cycle. Both strategy can be used to launch the new energy booster. However, the market scheming strategy will be the best alternative for it and co. This is because the new air conditioning unit is unique and is capable of providing unprecedented level of air conditioning using a minimum amount of electricity. All this information is available in the question. Technology used in this energy booster is unique, that the company has patented it. No other person can enter the market. Development costs are very high. It's better for the company to skim the market and charge higher price to obtain higher revenue and cover their costs. All right. Thank you for your time.
Sir. Sir.
I'm listening.
Okay, this last part, like, are we supposed to write everything exam?
Please reproduce everything for the examiner.
Okay, sir.
Examiner say explain market penetration and market strategy. Now, which one should the company use for the new products? Please, when you get back, look at the material again.
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you for your patience. We need to move out. Good night.
Good night, sir.
God give us a better understanding.
Amen.